Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. We have a bit of change of scenery today because, well, I'm on vacation. But me being away home doesn't mean I can't keep you guys up to date on everything Tarkov. We've got the beach, we've got the pool, and I've got some starlings down there, so I'm able to keep you guys up to speed. What more could I honestly ask for? Apparently, a really good patch though. Not only is BSG stuck with their roadmap, some of the changes we were all worried about seem to be for the better, rather than for the worse like sometimes happens with their patches. Now, I haven't been able to play much myself, but I've heard great things from a bunch of streamers about the in-game audio. The quality of life has people praising BSG, and the changes to the sunglasses and flashlights is going to upend one of the longest running metas in Tarkov. So while the scenery here is nice, let's get into the patch notes and get you guys up to speed on patch 16.7. All right, folks, here we are at the beach house. So forgive me for a little bit of the changes in quality, doing the best that I can. Hope it's good enough, and we will get through the patch notes here. So this is patch 16.7. It dropped Monday morning, the 23rd, June 23rd. So on time for the roadmap. And as near as I can tell, going through it, they have hit everything that they said they were gonna go on the roadmap and a bunch more. So let's talk about the first big one is audio. So I straight up said this, I was worried about changes with audio. Everybody's always worried about changes with audio. And I straight up say I haven't played. I'm on my laptop here. It can run Tarkov, but not well, and probably not well enough to stream it and record it. But I spent most of the morning bouncing around different streamers' streams, talking to them, asking them questions, as well as my community in the Discord about what their feelings are. And as of now, it's neutral to generally positive, or should I say cautiously optimistic. A lot of people are pretty excited. This finally feels like a patch where they made a big leap forward in audio. And just from me listening on the streams, it seemed like that too. Watching Jesse play in Shoreline was a big test because Shoreline's always been tough. And I feel like they made it to where you can actually tell where people are at now. So it's pretty good. But again, we'll see. These audio changes, it always takes a week or two to really feel out what they've done and how good they feel. So it'll take some time, but let's get to the notes and what they say. As part of this update, the audio engine system and individual subsystems have been significantly expanded to provide a more immersive Tarkov experience. The current version has gone through several stages of testing, however, it is still not final, so you may encounter unexpected audio behavior in various situations. This stage is necessary to collect feedback and do more tests on a diverse variety of players, hardware, and software. We are already preparing a set of fixes for the upcoming update, and your feedback and detailed issue reports will help us refine and stabilize the system for all players. Okay, so this is a big deal. This is BSG straight saying that the system isn't finished and they've got a lot of work to do for it, and they need our reports. So for me, what I've seen so far is it's going to be like specific instances or locations where you see something weird. You know, maybe it's BSG's office on streets and the audio sounds weird on the street on the backside. If you can show a clip and be very detailed in your explanation and send that to BSG, it will help them tune the audio in certain circumstances. Remember that the people you are sending these to probably don't speak English or don't speak English as a first language. So that's why clips and very simple but detailed, is that correct? Simple and detailed? I hope you get what I'm trying to say, but any kind of text you do has to be either easily translatable or easily conveyable so that Russian programmers can understand your potentially English or whatever other language you're in bug report. So keep that in mind. Readjust the sound system that checks for obstructions between listeners and source. This is going to be a big one for me. This was where I noticed a lot of the stuff that really sucked. You know, it could be an entire building didn't stop somebody's audio. Like we'll stick with streets, but like, or even resort. You know, if you were on opposite sides of the resort outside, you heard each other perfectly fine. And then sometimes a light pole would occlude audio. Like literally just a little skinny light pole would stop you from being able to hear somebody clearly, and it sucked. Improve the processing between the listener and the source when the source was behind obstacles, uneven terrain, rocks, vehicles, crates, and other environmental elements. So again, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Cautiously optimistic. Fix several issues where various sounds were produced and muffled incorrectly. That's a big one for me personally. Improve the sound penetration process inside and outside interiors with walls of different thickness. So we'll have to see, because It's not that Tarkov has a lot of walls that are different thickness, but in certain instances you have huge gaps where the wall is thicker. So think like bunkers down in reserve, or bunkers on woods, things like that, where you have these huge gaps where you shouldn't be able to hear very well through them, versus like the tiny little wood walls of like the triple shacks at the sawmill on woods. So these are just going to be things, again, it's just going to take time to play it through the maps and the massive areas and the complexities of Tarkov to really see if they've got this dialed in well or not. Improve the sound penetration process between the floors of buildings and on stairways. This one's going to be fun to test. If they finally figured out stairways, it'll be the first time since I've played Tarkov.
I don't want to know what floor you're going to be on. Just run around, and I want to see if I can kind of figure it out. So I bet that's third floor. And that's second floor. Holy shit.
Ooh, you got it exactly right.
Approve the inclusion of interactive windows and doors. So that's going to be doors that open, obviously, interactive, but windows that break. It worked okay. Like if a window was broken or unbroken, you could tell the difference in audio. So we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. Reduce the loudness of bushes in first and third person. Fix the cause of missing announcer warnings upon using the interactive buttons in the lab. So this is the announcer. You know, you hit parking garage and the lady speaks in Russian and tells you what button was hit. That has been missing for a year and a half now. I don't remember exactly how long, but it'll be nice to have those back. It does make getting around labs a little more, as long as you know what they're saying, it makes it a little bit better for being able to either avoid or find players depending on what you're trying to do. Improve the sound occlusion on various locations to enhance the detail. Sure. It's great. I hope that's good. I hope that's a good thing. I don't know. AI, a lot of stuff in here for PvE, but for everybody, there's some things in here for everybody, PvP or PvE. Improve the interactions of bots with doors. I'm talking with Gene, one of the guys at BSG. He said that this is one of their toughest things to deal with, and it has to do with how Unity deals with AI and stuff, I guess. He did a great job of explaining it to me. I'm just dumb, so I don't really fully understand. But that is one of their biggest hurdles, is doors and bots. So it looks like they're working to make that better, which is good because they do weird stuff around doors. PMC bots will now try to avoid areas where the location bosses initially spawn and are less likely to engage in combat with them. I know I've heard this from a lot of PvE folks that this is one of their complaints. It's not super bad, but it's annoying that a lot of times if you don't rush straight for the boss in PvE, the bots will kill the boss a lot of times, or the boss just wipes out all the PMCs and you have no PMCs to fight if you're trying to do some of those tasks in PvE. So some changes there for those problems. Fix several issues where bots could walk down the stairs or other uneven surfaces faster than usual. Fix the cause for bots appearing in the air or in the ground. Fix the specific situations in which bots would tilt their weapons upward for no reason. So we always called this praying to Nikita or whatever kind of funny joke you had. At least that's what I think this is. You know, they're just aiming at the sky. Hopefully that's addressed, because sometimes it feels like they were looking at players maybe, and maybe they weren't. And so just little cues like that aren't necessary are good to get rid of. Fix the issues in which boss guards and PMC bots were friendly to each other. Fix several issues in which the goons would appear on multiple locations at the same time in PvE. That got to the point where people thought that this might be on purpose. So they fixed it. So that answers your question. It wasn't on purpose. Quality of life, added an in-item search window with the ability to find items in the stash by category and name. All right, we're gonna do a little hard cut here, and I'm gonna jump right into this and show you guys this because it's super cool. Okay, so bear with me here. We are in my stash. It's a little choppy running, but it'll do the purpose. This is the new search function. I haven't gone through it all the way, so I don't know all the super secret like tricks with it yet, but simply put, you're going to be able to find anything in your stash pretty quickly. So like, let's say you're looking for, you want an SJ6 and you know you got one, but it's buried. right there. And you can, let me see if I can make my computer work. It lets you just drag it right to your character. So you can make do with that. And it works for pretty much everything. You know, if you're looking for specific items or armor or ammo or food, grenades, it doesn't matter what it is, it'll all show up here. You can set the filters to not include locked items. You can include items that are components on stuff already. So like if you're looking for, I don't know, is the voodoo gonna work? Yeah, so if there's a voodoo, even if it's on a weapon, you'll be able to find it. So specific parts, specific attachments, things like that. This is a fantastic quality of life change. One that I'm super glad they added, that is just top notch. This is good stuff. This is a great patch. This is one of the best patches all year, I think, as far as quality of life and stuff is concerned. And it might be one of the best patches in a long time just because of the audio, but we will see. So we are back here at the patch notes. Eyewear and masks with flash protection stat will now reduce glare effects from light source. Item with stats have also been rebalanced. So sunglasses, face shields, Tagilla masks, Altons, things like that. All of those things that reduced flash will also reduce flashlight glare, which is huge. It's one of the things a lot of people really don't like in the game is how much flashlights suck to fight against because they are meta. There's no downside to running the flashlight, and they make it really hard to see what you're shooting at if somebody's shining one in your face. So this will allow you to reduce that to a certain degree with certain trade-offs, which is good because I believe this will lead to people running more sunglasses and more different gear rather than just like the Death Shadow mask or something else. Because, for example, things like the welder goggles are going to be great for making flashlights not blind you quite so much.
That's humongous, bro.
Added the display of in-game raid time when pressing the O key by default. So this is if you hit the or the zero key, not the O key, sorry, zero key. You double tap the zero key, it pulls up the game time and your extracts. If you hit it once, it pulls up the time. In the bottom right, it will tell you the in-game time now. So like, you know, if you're trying to do a task at night between 2200 and 05 or whatever it might be, you can see that clock now, which is helpful for several tasks. Added the ability to automatically convert currency if not having enough when purchased on an item. So let's just go kind of show how that works. Okay, so I've moved my euros, so I don't have any of those. So we will go into the traders and try to buy something with euros real quick. So I go in here, I try to buy one. It says not enough currency, buy remaining from skier. So it'll buy 150 and then it buys the item and voila, you quick buy, you don't have to fight with your currency anymore. So that's a big change in my opinion. Quality of life, little things that you're always fighting, how much it sucks when like you run out of USD and then you have to go through when you're trying to build a gun and then you have to go through 3 screens to buy it and then you lose your pre-build on your weapon. This good change. Good change. All right, added the ability to automatically convert currency if, I read that one, my bad. Added the highlight of attachments that are available for purchase from traders on the build screen. Now this one I was really curious as how it was gonna show up. So let's take a peek. All right, we're gonna look here at an MP7 and we'll see what it shows up. And as you can see here, the little green thingy-majig will show up as you can buy from traders. Now, right now, this one you can't. There's not a lot on here because I have max traders, I have everything unlocked, right? So there's not going to be a lot of things you can't buy, but at lower levels when you're trying to get stuff and see what you can and can't buy on traders, this is actually going to be a really handy deal so that you can tell, okay, I can go with this part versus this part and it'll be a lot cheaper than buying it on the flea. So handy little change. I like it. Just little quality of life stuff. This is the kind of stuff we're kind of expecting to see as we get closer and closer to 1.0. Okay, added the ability to pin the tasks at the top of the list on any tab. So again, we'll hop over and look at this real quick. And basically it's just this little pin button. So you can pin any number of tasks that you want up here and they will always stay at the top. And they work just like before. You select them and they get bigger or smaller. But instead of having to hunt through your tasks, or like, you know, because you go to a different map, it grays them out sometimes. These will always be at the top for you to be able to see. Just more great quality of life. Okay, added a warning when attempting to start a raid with a task in the inventory. good stuff. Can't show you that because I don't have one. Rebalance the sensitivity and zooming ability of optical sights. This is going to be with scopes and things like that. So there's some scopes that had weird settings with when you're ADS'd and how fast they look. So hopefully this addresses all of those. It's just going to take time. I can't tell you if they fixed them all or not right now. Just wishful thinking. Improve the usability of specific optical and thermal sights. I don't know what this is. I wish I could give you guys a better answer right now. I asked around, I didn't get any answers from anybody, so it's gonna be one of those things we're gonna have to kind of wait and see. Or if you know in the comments, by all means, let me know what I don't know in the comments. That will be helpful for everybody involved. Added Nate protection to the Reddit series body armor, Reddit M and Reddit T5. The cost of these armors has been adjusted, which means they increase the price. So if we go look at those armors, I don't think I have any in my stash handy. We'll have to go to the truck. Nope, I got one right here. So if you look, there is going to be nape protection, basically back here, which is what that is. Instead of just neck, it's going to go higher and cover the nape, which will it used to only be covered by a helmet, and you should be able to see it right in here. Yeah, back, neck, throat, groin, buttocks, though I don't see nape. So let's go look at Ragman and see what the T5 samurai armor says. So I'm wondering if the back of the neck is the nape. It's the only thing I can think of right now. Though it's not, because the back and neck is just the throat. So I don't see anything in here that says specifically nape. So for example, if you go to the helmet, and this is what I'm looking for, is on the LZSH helmet, you can put a back piece, which I'll just link search it. This neck piece goes on here, and if you look, it says back and neck. Okay, so they just changed it. It used to say nape, so back and neck is nape. All right, well, good. So that armor covers those now. Questions answered, no big deal. Okay, transition to another location will now count for all tasks and objective to survive at extract. There's some people out there like, well, I've already been transitioning and it counts. And yes, there is some. There were a few tasks that transitioning counted for your completion, things like the guide, stuff like that. But most of the tasks did not count if you did the extraction. For like the biggest ones, examples are dailies and weeklies, right? So if you extracted from a map with a transition, it does not count. It did not count for daily and weekly. So hopefully this is actually fixing that, and we're going to get these transitions to account for all of them. Now, yes, it's going to let you cheese some of these a little bit, but that's not that big of a deal. They let people cheese their tasks if they want to do that. It still takes time. It still takes effort. And if somebody wants to have a little clever way to get through some of these, I'm all for it. So keep that in mind now when you're looking at some of your objectives. You can use transitioning to get through them. You know, like if you have to survive a map 10 times, if you hop back and forth on transitions, there you go. There's your 10 survives, and you don't have to spend all week doing it. Rebalance the operation of the RSHG-2 rocket launcher. No idea what this means yet. I haven't had a chance to look into it. We will look into it a lot. I had kind of a halfway done video for the RSHG, kind of like a guide, if you will, but more of an informal teaching lesson on ways to use it and strategies. So hopefully this isn't huge. If they balance it to make it less cheesy, I guess, or maybe made it more expensive or whatever they did, whatever, we'll get into it. We'll figure it out. All right, now we're gonna get some of the fixes here. Fixed a significant number of visual issues on customs and reserve. I don't know if they mentioned it here later, but just to get out of the way, I've already heard from a ton of people that reserve is running way better. I obviously I'm on my laptop. I can't tell you how much better it's running, but if you are somebody who's avoided reserve because of performance, now might be a chance to go check it out and see if it is actually working for you. Fix the cause of concussion when a landmine explodes at a great distance from the player. I think this was mostly on PvE, but basically what happened, you could be on Lighthouse and somebody could step on a landmine all the way over by a water treatment plant, and you could be down on the south end of the map and you would still have the concussion effect. So hopefully that has been addressed and fixed for everybody. Fixed a bug that caused the smoke from the smoke grenade to be visible to the observer player if the player pulled the grenade pin but canceled the throw. This is a really annoying bug. It really made labs bad, depending on who was on the map with you, but hopefully it's fixed. This has been around for a long time. This isn't a new bug. It got really bad recently, but this has been around forever. Hopefully it's actually fixed now and it doesn't come back. Bury that one, make it never come back. Fix the display of the smoke grenade in the character's hand after the throw. Fix the hands freezing after using a med kit or stimulant while unarmed. Fix the reason of the missing search skill point accrual when searching containers. Fixed, this just search skills weren't coming up when they were supposed to. Fix the operation of bonuses from the hideout management skill. Fix the incorrect display of hideout zones in PvE, which were previously built by the player in PvP. Fix the ability to start crafts with missing ingredients at the elite level crafting skill. I haven't got there because I've prestiged. That's a funny one for me, that you can craft things for free because of the crafting skill. Interesting. Fix the ability to use items from hideout mannequins in PvE for stashing them during tasks. So you could put stuff on your mannequins and it would let you use them in raid. And I think this was like Red Rebels, things that you needed to stash for quests, all that stuff. It worked from your mannequins, which was an interesting bug. But it looks like it's been addressed. Fix the tactical clothing, getting reset of select Ragman services tab. Fix the incorrect third-person hand animation if the player switched to underbarrel grenade launcher and walked into an obstruction. Fix the inability to pick up the item as a scav in certain cases. Fix the cause of weapon becoming slightly larger when inspecting the KAC 10-round magazine. Fixed a bug where repair kits locked in the player's stash would still get used for repairing armor and weapons. Fixed the cause of missing explosions and disappearing tripwires in PvE. Fixed the cause of tasks getting auto restarted in certain cases. Fixed the cause of error code 703, quest not found. Fixed the display of durability for items needed for tasks. Fixed the damage from bots shooting through the BTR. I didn't notice this one, but it makes me wonder now. I think there was a couple of times where I might have been getting shot through the BTR, but thought I was getting shot from the other side. So yeah, cool. Fixed the cause of the BTR not aggroing at players who shot the RSHG-2 at them. So this is the rocket launcher, and this is true. The BTR did not react to the rocket launcher, it just ignored you. It didn't damage anybody, it didn't do anything, it was just a waste of a rocket, but it was kind of funny. But now it's gonna shoot at you, so make sure if you're one of those folks that thinks that's not going to kill you and you can kill a player next to it, but it will start shooting you now. So don't be shooting that without being behind cover or somewhere you can get away from it. Fix the incorrect display of prestige icons for players with long nicknames. And I'm hopeful my camera doesn't block these out. Fix the JSON parsing error on game startup for players. Fix the Star Called Sun achievement icon. Let's go look at that, because I actually have that achievement. I don't know if there was something wrong with it. This is just, you got to kill a cultist with a rocket launcher, and it's I don't know what was wrong with the emblem, but it's there. So yeah. Now there's one thing, I haven't heard anything else yet, but there's always little things BSG does that don't make the patch notes, and one of them is this little emblem right here for the boss, and it shows up right there on the right here. But if you look on the map, it's got a little red skull. That means that the boss event is there, which it is. Currently right now, Tagilla is at 100% on factory. So cool little addition. I think that means that this boss event thing, obviously they like how it worked out. So we're gonna continue to have it, which is all bases as far as I'm concerned. I'm happy with it. Along with that, some other changes they made. A lot of the stuff that was for the rocket launcher event has been pulled back, as far as like level 1 traders having impact grenades and stuff like that. And I believe the delayed fuses got moved. Let me go look here real quick. Those were, you know, the F1 short delay fuses, the fancy ones from Afghanistan, where you basically make them into a death trap. Yeah, here's the reduced delay. Is there a barter for them? There is not. So the reduced delay grenades are no longer available, it looks like. Feel free to correct me if I'm not seeing this, but you can sell them on the flea market, but you can't buy them from Jaeger anymore. So all of you people who argued with me in the comments, yeah, the rocket launcher event wasn't an event. Guess what? You're wrong. It was an event. And that's proof. They changed everything. I know that's petty, but I don't care. And then last but not least, but maybe it's least, we got another quote-unquote Nicky leak, a video, a vlog he likes to do. So let's watch this together here real quick and we'll go through it. Audio stuff. I'm not quite sure what they got going there. This is new skins, is what it looks like to me. Showcasing audio, which is interesting that there's going to be sound for sawing. This here, like, I hate to be that guy, but I'm watching this and I'm like, oh my God, BSG's just copying Arc Raiders. The Arc Raiders doesn't own the rights to, or the idea that you use a crowbar to open something. But, you know, this just kind of goes to show you how design and art and all sorts of things, mimicry and copying is just part of it. It's not a bad thing. When you see somebody has a good idea to do something and you bring it on, as long as you're not like copy pasting it and you're putting your own taste to it, I think it's fine. And this is cool. If we have a mechanic to breach doors, if you will, or get into specific areas using a crowbar, I'm all for it, man. I think that's a cool thing. So there's that. They're giving highlights to somebody, I guess. I don't know. Stuff in here I don't really understand, maps and things like that. So I'm not going to provide a lot of commentary toward it. But that's that. The biggest thing in here, like I said, was the crowbar deal. I think the sawing means there's going to be sawing stuff too. But this crowbar animation, I think, is the biggest out of this whole bit, being able to breach. And this also looks like a ship, a naval vessel kind of door or hatch. I could be totally wrong. It could be just a bunker thing. But this makes me think of like in terminal where we have I forget what it's called. It's it's the Russian version of the LCAC, the hovercraft. It's that boat thing that everybody thought was a submarine sitting at terminal in the screenshots we've seen. Maybe the editors can pull a picture of it up. But that's going to have doors like this on it, just like a ship would. So that should be pretty interesting if this is part of that mechanic as part of 1.0 when we finally get to see terminal. All right, and with that, we'll wrap up the video. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope that the quality was good enough and you guys got something out of it. But I got more important things to do, like go jump in that. So I wish you guys the best of luck in your raids. Enjoy the patch. Let me know all about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Helps me out even while I'm on vacation. Appreciate you guys as always, and we'll see you in Tarkov.